Hello, Teaquilters. Today is Saturday, March 4th, 2023, and we're here with live sewing chat. I need to bring you all up on my phone. I don't know if this mic is going to last all night, and I don't know where I put my other mic that's charged. So we got a mic issue today. So, see what we can do. Schedule later. Just trying to do a system update. We don't have time for that. Okay. All right. So we're in the chat now, I think. How was everybody's Saturday so far? Let me also know what projects you're working on. We've got, let me move this over so I can read a little bit more this way. I still got stuff piled from Wednesday in front of my desk here, so I have not stepped back in here until 20 minutes ago. Deborah Quilt saying hi to you and fellow quilters. Bonita Nance, Vivian Calvi, hi to you and everyone. Wash your hands is here. Darcy Savali, hi to you and all quilters. Wanted to remind everybody to hit their thumbs up when you get here. Not gonna be around. I'm sick, so hopefully you feel better, Darcy. So sorry you're not feeling well. I'll just pin this one for right now. Melody, it took me back to the top. Hold on. Or it did something. Melody Kiefer saying good morning, everyone. Hey, Melody. Dolores Phelps saying good evening, T and Kevin and all T quilters. Bonita saying hey, Miss T and everyone. Judy Hebert saying hi from Georgia. Melinda C, hello, Miss T and all T quilters. Zella McKenzie, hi T and quilting friends. Winona Mixon, hi Miss T and quilters. Craft with love, greetings T and everybody. Bart McKinley is waving. Rose Hinton, hey Miss T. Becky Bramlett, hello everyone. I'm thrilled to be here while crocheting, so that's awesome. Becky Bramlett, I don't know if I said her name right. Maddie Barnum says hi T and everyone. Shirley Peters, hi Miss T and everyone. Unique, Neek. Saying hi y'all. T Roberts is here saying evening all T quilters. Blackbird saying hello, sending butterflies. Betsy Layton here saying hello, Miss T and all. Bonita Nance is here saying so far so good, working on making my foundation paper piece foundations for my second foundation paper piece design pattern. Rose says that my Saturday is good. I'm thinking on making table runners. And Sue is saying hello to you and fellow quilters. Was planning on working on optional blocks, but got bit at work this morning. Oh my goodness, girl. Carrie Richards says hi T and all T quilters. And Maddie Barnum says T, I am having fun making boho quilts, so that's pretty cool. And Unique's laughing at me. Becky says you're one of the few that does say it right. Okay. Zandra Oldham saying working on boho hard quilt and optional blocks. When I can. Have not been feeling good, so I work when I can. So yeah, just do a little bit here and there. I just got to cut this off. All right. So I wasn't sure when I made this video for the chat at 7 p.m. that I didn't even know what I was going to work on. So I've come in here. I did not even have my pieces cut for the Crown Royal quilt. So I have since cut these. And so I think I am going to just go ahead and sew these pieces together that have been here for a while. And let me go ahead and flip this over just in case I need to iron before I start putting too many pieces on here. So this is what we're going to do. I'm hoping that all of these squares are turned the same way. So that I can just sew these on. So if I have the stack like this, I'm just putting the side pieces to the sides. And Bonita is saying Happy Women's Month, so that's pretty cool. Tiffany of Tiffany's Quilting Life is here. She's saying hi to everyone. I am Longhorn Quilting, so just listening tonight, but wanted to say hi, so that's awesome. If you all don't know about Tiffany's channel, she has a great channel. You might want to subscribe to her channel as well. And Kevin the Quilter is here saying, hey, Miss T and all Teaquilters. So I'm sure at some point, like I said, this mic is going to go out. So just keep that in mind. Let me know in the chat when it goes off. And then what I'll do is I'll have to unplug everything. I actually went to the mall today. I saw the Apple store. I started to go in. I think my light and dark must be my camera giving out on my iPad. But I decided they weren't going to give my money today. I know it's going to cost over $1,000. So I was like, nope, not today. Maybe another day. And I hardly ever go to the mall. So it was just fun to go. I don't really live at the mall. I tend to order everything online. Janice Miller is here saying hello, Miss T and everyone. And Craft with Love says working on taking everything out of my bathroom for a contractor will be able to come in on Monday to demo it. So that's awesome. I had one of my bathrooms remodeled. It turns out really pretty, but it's a headache when it's out of commission. You know, I never even talked about the quilt retreat that I went on. I did some lives and stuff, so that was good, but it was like I realized that I never even talked about that. So I'll just see if I can upload a show and tell video at some point. I got that quilt retreat that I went to earlier in February and QuiltCon, and I also recorded a studio video. I got like 3 videos in the month of February I need to edit. And I've been filling orders for the most part and trying to clean up some of the stuff so my friends can come. But that seems to be going slow. They come next Saturday to my house. Seems like every time I move something, I put something else in its place. So, especially while I'm doing orders, I clean off my long arm and then I look back up and the long arm is filled again. So it's just a lot of stuff I have on my to-do list. And also I need my water cup. Laurie Anderson is waving hi. June Hansen saying hi T and everyone. So welcome everybody. Hope you all are having a great day. Make sure I'm putting this on here right. L to the bottom. So I have to finish. I need 25 more Crown Royal blocks for this particular quilt. And then I am going to start counting how many setting triangles, because I don't remember what I cut. I just cut a few so that I could get started. And then I have to do that. Cut the setting triangles and corner triangles. I might have enough corner triangles. Whoa, that scared me. I went in here using rulers. I guess I didn't sit it back in here good. And the vibration from the machine didn't help it. Sandy Agger is here saying, good evening, lovely people. Rent is paid. Well, thank you, Sandy. Welcome. So we'll see if I can get these 25 made. I'm just going to sew. And hopefully I counted right for my pieces. I did have to cut a few pieces. Jason Lewis is here saying, hey, Miss T and all T Quilters, happy Saturday. Hey, Jason. Tom Whittick Eckery, hey, T and all T Quilters. Be sure to give T a thumbs up. So thank you, Tom. Welcome, everybody. I haven't done any sewing since retreat. Well, I did some sewing yesterday. I forgot because I had half square triangles from a project I was working on at retreat, and I didn't want to lose them. I had like 168 pieces, and then I had sewed them into half square triangles. But then I never did sew those half square triangles into the blocks. So what I did was sew them into rows, but the blocks aren't sewn. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose any. So I did do that yesterday because they were scattered all over my desk. So I forgot I did come in here. I was talking to Deborah Quilts while I did that. Unique's also reminding people to, oh, she's saying her thumbs up is done. So thank you, thank you. And I think that's it. Other people are saying hello to people coming in. So for those that haven't shared what projects you're working on today, let me know what you're working on. That would be fun. Love to know what people are doing. June says she's working on 2 bags, so that's fun. I can't wait to get back into the bag making. I just stopped because I had so much other stuff I needed to do. I still got bags I need to make. The last stragglers that ordered bags, I never went back. I think I got 4 bags total I need to make. So Kevin's working on giving Miss T a hard time. Really? Really? Get these off. We can turn them around and put a rectangle on the other side. Barb says she's making tulip blocks today. That's pretty. I've made some tulip blocks before. They're so pretty. Jason says he's been sewing on my city sampler 100 modern quilt block today, so that's cool. Sure, it's gonna be pretty. Sandy is crumb sewing, making 5-inch squares to use an Eric sew along. That's Eric's sew along is at Treasure Heart on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, he's doing crumb quilting. This is my first one, a long string. And Lori Anderson is working at Mount Scrapmore. I don't know what that means. Betsy says, I'm almost done with my knot today. A couple more rows needed to put together. I'll probably finish at the top tomorrow. I'm packing at the moment and putting stuff away. So that's cool. And T is working on a mini quilt. So that's awesome. So I'll just press these seams here. I should be pushing this back and using the desk, which is much harder surface instead of using the pad. I do have my Panasonic iron behind me when I need to press, so if I do need to press, I can. But we're going to just try with the wooden press. These blocks are so simple. Deborah Quilts is working on a cross stitch project, Morning Dew and Winterberry buttons. So we've got a cross stitcher, a crocheter so far, bag making, and quilting. Lots of talents. Laurie is working on my mountain of scraps, making a scrap quilt. Okay. So that's cool. Joe Cormel saying hi all that she's driving home. So be safe, Joe. Cynthia Washington saying she just finished a mystery quilt I bought 4 years ago. Right. Join the club, girl. I have a lot of quilt tops I need to quilt, but I also have a lot of customer quilts I need to quilt. And my long arm is still full of stuff. So I have a quilt on there when I finish my last batch. It's my quilt. It's actually going to be a gift quilt. And so I still have it on there because I was going to put the binding on the machine, but I think I might take it off and just do it here at the sewing machine. I don't think that quilt's very big, and at least I can get that off. I need to do about 10 customer quilts before I can quilt for myself now. I'm getting backed up and haven't quilted a quilt yet. All right, got more over here. So figured if I do one side now and do the pressing, then I wouldn't have to do it later. Do all both. I could have sewed both of them at the same time. But, I'm here and reading comments, so it makes it a lot easier to read comments. Winona says she's working on finishing a couch cushion, then half square triangles. Yes. I don't know if I like working with a whole lot of half square triangles because then it depends on the pattern whether or not I have to, or I want to, or I need to, for me, press the seams open. And that's the part that's time consuming, is pressing the seams open. It's not the sewing them. Just depends on the pattern. And the pattern I had called for the seams to be pressed open. It was a lot. So I'm going to sew this one, take it off, the one that I haven't taken off, and press it so I don't forget. Cynthia finished a mystery quilt. Oh, she said, okay, I think I read that. I was lucky to get a sting press the other day, so that's cool. I love my sting press. I do like pressing my completed blocks on it, but I basically bought it for when I'm making t-shirt quilts. That's when I really love my sting press. That's its major job. It's interfacing t-shirt quilts. Oops. Just put a few up here so I don't have the whole stack. Winona is working on finishing a couch. Okay, I read that one. I must be getting comments. They're bouncing around for me, guys. Janice is trying to get caught up on charity quilts. And Carrie Richards says, I finished my boho heart quilt last night. So that is awesome. A lot of people are way ahead of schedule getting their quilts done, and that's good. And I'm just sticking around with the beginners or the people that want the slow pace. Some people want the slow pace because they're working on other projects or running their own businesses. So I'm sticking with the slow pokes. I haven't done any more sewing. I got to do boho heart next whenever I get a chance to cut some stuff. But right now I'm trying to clean spaces out, not mess them up. So I've got stuff that I pack for retreats and doing 30 fat quarter bundles I had to pull out of storage. So that kind of stuff I need to now start putting up. All right. Barbara Jean Ritchie says, what design is on purple fabric? It's Crown Royal bags. Just Crown Royal. Right there. Making a very simple block. I'll show it in a few. Whoops. I'm hoping I didn't break my thread. Nope. Oh, yes, I did. I heard something break. And I don't know if my thread broke or if my bobbin's out, but it sounded funny at the beginning. So let me just check the bobbin just to make sure. It's like I heard a weird noise before it happened. My bobbin's not in the case. It popped out of the case. I knew I heard it. All right. Oh, hold on. Gotta get this under first. Also, I have been sewing with that yesterday and today. I have been sewing with that organic thread. And I don't even know where I put the box right now because I got three spools. But I am sewing with the organic thread today. I haven't had any thread breaks or anything like that. And it's not in my bobbin. What's in my bobbin is R-fill. Either R-fill or my Masterpiece. These are the threads I normally use. I normally use Masterpiece and R-fill. And I've been lately I have been winding Masterpiece on my bobbins too. So I think it's Arfield in the bobbin, not Masterpiece this time. And I think I'm just gonna start using Arfield whenever I'm traveling, because it's like if I'm just going out for a day where I don't need my big spool or something like that. Sandy says, I was moving some stuff around in my sewing studio and ran across my tees bento box kit. Have mercy, Lord. And then I have the nerve to buy more African fabric from T. Right. Now that's funny. I haven't even finished my bento quilt. I had, when I started cleaning off some of this stuff here, I was packing up some of the sewing projects, and I think I just put it in a box for right now. I wonder what tonight's secret word is. There is no secret word today. What makes it organic versus other cotton thread? I can't remember, Benita. I read it. I had talked about it last Saturday in the video. I had bought it from a vendor at Retreat. But I know that they use natural dye colors, and they use wooden thread spools. I forgot, it was about 4 or 5 things that made it organic. I forgot now. And I can't find, I thought I had the box laying up here, but it's big enough that I should have, be able to see it, but I don't. So I must have moved it somewhere. It's just weird how how stuff disappears, I want to see if I put it back here when I came live Wednesday. I got my Crown Royal stuff, so I got all kind of bags up here. I won the blocks at my guild. Got my hand sewing Sudoku. See, as I'm cleaning up stuff, I'm finding stuff, and so I'm just temporarily putting stuff here. This is a current project I'm working on. And then I put some stuff up, so I'm wondering if I accidentally put it up somewhere. But it's just weird that I can't find the box. And it's not in my thread drawer. So I don't know. I have to think about where I put the other 2 spools, because it made no sense to take them out of here. So this is where you spend 20 minutes. You got 15 minutes to sew, and you do 15 minutes of searching. But that is so weird. The only thing I can think of is that I had other fabric, and maybe I accidentally put it into the fabric bag, because I don't think I would have put it anywhere else. So I don't know. And I when I was I already looked down the other side of my desk, so I know it's not there, because I picked up some other stuff that I lost, like my spool cap on my Bernina, since I'm using the small since I'm using a small spool. I needed my small spool cap that I dropped over there. So let's see who else has come in. Picola Chase saying howdy all friends from New Mexico. Hello, hello. Dolores Phelps saying, I'm working on Boho Hearts Group 2, sections 2 and 3. That's on point with me. I just finished. Diane 57 is here. Sheila D saying hello from Temecula, California. And Okay, Bonita. And if I find it, as I'm here, I'll try to go over it. Remo JS found her way in here saying, hello, Miss TNT Quilters. Thumbs up, everyone. Show your love and support. So thank you, ma'am. Zandra says things grow feet and walk away from time to time. All I did was took one out the box. And sometimes I just have this weird knack of putting stuff in places because it's in a box. And I probably put it somewhere stupid thinking that was a good place at the time. So you know how that is. Oh, those secret better places to put something. Barbara says you put it in a certain spot so you could remember it. Oh, see? Yep. I didn't even realize she had said that, and I'm saying it. Craft with Love says I am forever misplacing things I need while I'm sewing. And T says I have the problem of things disappearing, but I blame it on the gremlins. Right. Vivian Calvi is here. She made it in here. I said, where are those two ladies? Sharon Lewis is here saying hi, tea and quilters. And Remo said she just woke up. She was exhausted. Yeah, I was in bed just watching some YouTube stuff, trying to get caught up on some things. And then when it was time to come live at 7 o'clock, I was so tired. I said, do not fall asleep now. I'm glad I at least rested, though. Michelle the quilter is here saying hi, tea and everyone. Bonita wants to know, when is the boho hard quilt scheduled to be finished? It's the end of July is when it's scheduled to be done. I'm going to see if I can contact a couple of friends and see if they might be wanting to do a quick collab project. We'll see. That would be August. I don't know how far it would go, but we'll see. Zella McKenzie says just finished quilting a crib quilt. Jason talking about naps are the best. Judy says I blame everything I lose to the ghost in my house. Right, my friend says that too. Talking about, and she calls the ghost. I think she calls him Bob. All right. We're already up looking for stuff. Let's see if we get these blocks done. So hello from New Mexico. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you popping a comment in for us. Let us know what you're working on today or what's your current quilt project that you're working on. We like to share around here. So I'm hoping to get these Crown Royal blocks completed today. Hopefully I have enough pieces cut that I counted correct, because it was like about less than 10 minutes, about 7 minutes before I came live. Yeah. T, are you going to do the Metro St. Louis shop hop? Probably not. I don't know. I haven't done that in years. I used to do it when we had, for about the first 5 to 7 years when we had the 13 quilt shops. I haven't done it in a long time now. So I have not had it on my agenda. But who knows? You never know. I know they're having the shop hop that's in, I guess, Central Missouri. I don't know what they call that shop hop. Kevin and I went to it a couple years ago. We picked the ones we wanted to go to and went to quite a few of them too, but we didn't go to all. But I just did the All Missouri Shop Hop in September, October of last year, and I actually went to them all 70 stores, and I see now they've already got over 90 stores. So I'm glad that I did it where I could say I did all the shops the very first year it started, because it's a lot more stores to go to now, a lot more stops, and a lot of stores have closed. Like at least 5 somewhere in that neighborhood have closed since we went on that shop hop too. So a little bit different. Jason talking about there are only 5 or 6 stores on the hop. That is so sad. Uh, Diane's working on the mosaic quilt. Unique says no sewing right now, doing some overtime for my 9 to 5. So I don't like it. That's awful, but I'm sure the money is good. I just always have hated overtime when I work. Isn't that crazy? Nicole Baldwin says, hi, I'm working on Easter table runner. So that sounds interesting. Around 2, it says Shirley here from Canada. Hello, T and everyone. Today I was working on foundation paper piecing and then a table runner right now, sitting and knitting slippers. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Betsy says she did the Ozark Hill shop hop yesterday. She went to 7 shops, so that's pretty cool. See, I knew that was around this time. I didn't know exactly when, but I knew we did it like in March of last year, but I wasn't sure if it was a whole month. So that's good. March 2 years ago. We didn't do it last year. This month also is the Branson AQS show. American Quilter Society show in Branson. So if you're in that area, want to do that, that's awesome. I did that last year. I don't think I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to go to the AQS show in Paducah because I told you all it's closer for me to get to Paducah than it is for me to get to Branson. So that's what I am planning to do. We shall see how it all works out. I got all of this little fuzz on me. I thought that was something else, and I'm like, what is that? And it was just a piece of Crown Royal purple fuzz. It wouldn't move off my finger. It was like magnetic. Weird. Let's see what people are saying here, because I just stopped reading. Sheila Willis is saying, good evening, T and everyone. Welcome, Sheila. Unique said the quote behind you is so pretty. Thank you. That's actually the yellow brick road pattern. Starting with Wayne saying, hi, T and everyone. Is that a Crown Royal back quilt you're doing? Been seeing a lot of resellers on the lookout for them to sell, as seems they are a hot item right now. I don't know if you can officially sell the Crown Royal bag, the stuff or not, but as far as advertising, because at one point they were saying you couldn't, but then they start charging $15 a bag, and so it was like, I don't know whatever happened with that. But if somebody approaches me and want to buy mine, then they can most definitely have it. I have no sentimental attachment to it other than I've always wanted to make one for many years. So, but like I said, I'm not gonna put it out there for sale, but if somebody wants it, they can definitely pay for it. Michelle the quilter says our local quilt shop collected 110 kids quilts that we made and about 110 books to donate to the hospital's children ward, and a Super Bowl Sunday project. So that was pretty cool. And I love when quilts are going directly to uh someone than just being put into a closet per se. So I do like that they going straight out. Angela Stringer say, y'all better quit writing down your memory problems. Some relatives of yours will put you in a shady pines without a sewing machine or fabric. Good evening, T&T Quilters. Yeah. She says, Picola says, I'm working on the Majestic Mountains quilt pattern, so that's cool too. I like that. Jason says, my birthday is doing Branson. I am thinking of going for a birthday trip, so that's awesome. You might want to consider going to AQS Paducah. As well. I'm not saying only don't go to that one. Branson it was a nice one. This is their second time having it there. And so I was interested in seeing how people showed up, especially since it was one of the first. It was in the top part of people starting go back to quilt show. So it was one of the first, being in March of last year. And I thought, for considering the conditions, that it was well attended. It looked like it was gonna be empty. And then I kind of appreciated that we got in there before everybody, because we got to walk around without a lot of hustle and bustle. But by the time we were ready to go, it was people everywhere. It was hard to even see the last quilts that I was trying to view. So, yeah. Next to the last one, because the last one is still on my sewing machine. All right. Now I just need to put one square onto the end of these rectangles. I never did show the block, did I? Here's the block. It's just a simple block that I'm making with the crown royal in the middle. And then it's turned. I had to fussy cutting the block on point because I'm putting my quilt top on point. And when I do that, I need to have I needed to have all the crown royals cut on point, so when I turn them, they'll be right side up to be read. So that's why my blocks are on point like that. If I was not putting them on point, I would have just cut straight across. So let me cut this off, press it, so it'll be ready for the next step. So there we go. So now we just sew one square onto end of all of this. For those keeping up. Some of these bags are fraying and some of them are not. That lets you know from the cheaper fabric is fraying. I should have sewed these right away. The decent quality bags are not fraying. So they have definitely changed manufacturing of these bags. Barbara Jean is saying she have a question for the quilters. I have stamped embroidery blocks, so that's further down. Sue is asking Jason, when will he be in Paducah? Kevin says she's going to Paducah with her good quilty friend Kevin. Don't hate, participate. He's so silly. Cedra Creations is here saying hi, T&T Quilters. So can't seem to get question in. Should I put stabilizer in the quilt block before quilt it to other material? She has stamped embroidery blocks. Now, I think most people that have made those stamped embroidery block quilts, I have never seen them do any interfacing on them. But if I had them, I think the fabric is a little bit thinner. I think I would just like to have some stability behind it. I think they also have some polyester in them. So, they might hold up, but I think they look kind of thin to me. And so I don't know. You all answer that use those. I've never seen one. I've seen a lot of quilts and none of them have done it. And so I'm sure they're fine because they quilt up just fine. But if you use darker batting, say you make one with black accents and you want to do black batting, will that make a difference? Will the black batting show through the white? But I've seen plenty made that were not, and it wasn't a problem. So just whatever other people say to you, take it all and collect it. I have never made a quilt with any. Never. And the ones I have seen, like I said, I have people in my guild that have made them. I've been to numerous quilt shows. I've never seen anybody interface them. They just go ahead and start um doing the embroidery. Now I'm not sure if they do the embroidery in a hoop or if they do it just holding it in their hand. I have no idea. I've never actually seen the work. Deborah Quilts is in here. I know she's done some too. Maybe she can help. Look for a comment from her if she's still here. Michelle says that she would put at least a lightweight stabilizer. I know I would do like at least, and I would do like a SF 101 or something, or even a fusy knit if you wanted to get the cheapest one, the cheapest interfacing. But I think I would put something behind it. When I've done hand applique myself, just regular hand embroidery, stuff like that, I've always put something behind it. Even if it wasn't that material. So. All right. Melissa says, I can hear B. Arthur in my head. Shady Pines, Ma. Jason says, it's going to be Branson or Scrap Club. I will probably say an STL. Yeah, if you want to do, if you just had to go to Branson, that's fine. But like I said, I can get to Paducah a lot quicker than I can Branson. And I don't know if Jason's planning on staying the night or not. We did Branson in one day. It was a long day though. Paducah is a long day. Branson was even longer. We were supposed to stay overnight. Somebody changed their mind. And then we got a flat tire. It was dark outside. On the highway, couldn't move off the highway, moved over to the far right as possible. Ended up calling the professionals, called AAA to come change this tire, okay? Because it's like, we're not stepping, of course it's an outside tire that got a flat, right? It's like, we're not going out there. The things that happen on these road trips, right? All right. You're taking me more time to make sure I'm only sewing one square. Because some of these pieces want to stick together. I got quite a few of these to do too. Well, 50 at least. Not quite a few. It just seems like a lot when they're sticking together. Um, Angela's working on curating fabric for an upcoming classes, so that's good. Good, good, good. T says, Good Trouble Civil Rights Memorial Center celebrates John Lewis in Atlanta from now to April. So that's very nice. He's actually in my quilt panel, John Lewis, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember those names. Deborah Quilt says, I recommend a light iron-on interfacing. So yeah, so everybody seems like, even though we've never seen it, they all are recommending an interfacing, and I know I would. It just seems like it's pretty thin to me, and I think your stitching will sit on top instead of sinking in and causing little dents that kind of happen, because the fabric is pulling against itself as you're working in another spot. Deborah's my hand piecing expert, my hand embroidery expert. So if she's saying she'd use something, I would use something. Dee Dee Hansen here from Michigan. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome. Trying to make sure I got one of everything. I have a feeling I'm going to get to the end and I'm going to be short something. Take some of these off. All right. Sandy says, I meant to tell you how much I love March Optional Block, the quarter log cabin. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Teresa McCormick, I made it. Hello, Miss T and all. Hey, Teresa, welcome. She say somebody. I was trying not to throw you under the bus. They know who somebody is. Most of them. Melissa says, true confessions of Kevin the Quilter. Right. He's just throwing himself under the bus. See, I wasn't even telling on him. And Barbara says, thank you, T, Deborah, and Michelle. So you're welcome. Sewing. Luwayne is saying, I remember why I don't buy patterns with pre-cut fabrics. I tried 3 times to sew the blocks for Clue 1 of the Cotton Cut Spring PMQ. Those AccuCut pieces are driving me crazy. Wow. See, I have no problems with mine when I cut them. Sometimes, you could be running out of fabric and don't know that one of your pieces on the bottom ran out. So I guess you could have the chance where they may not have cut correctly. So that could happen and you wouldn't know it. So just let them know. Maybe they can send you some pieces if they're not cut right. I'm all the way. I'm like, wait, I'm not too far behind. Chocolate Treat saying evening. Hello, hello, and welcome. She says the material is kind of thin. Deborah Quill says, thanks, T. I do a lot of handwork. Yep. Judy says, how big is your crown bag square? It's 6 inches finished. Okay. Not very big. I started out using the smallest bags first just to get rid of the very small bags, and all I could cut was a 3.5-inch center square. So that's what I went with. The larger bags, you can get a little bit bigger square. Even cutting on point, and remember I cut on point. I could have easily cut a bigger square had I not cut on point. But there was no way I was going to make this quilt and have all these blocks tilted sideways. It would have drove me nuts even working on it. So yeah. I don't know why I'm hot today. I'm up here sweating up a storm. I don't know why I'm hot. Drink some more water. Is Madam CJ Walker in that panel? I thought it might be her besides Nelson Mandela. I can't remember. I remember looking her up. She might be in there. I can't remember all the names because I had to do a lot of research. So now I can't remember because I remember researching her, but I'm not sure if she's in the panel or not. But I do remember researching that name. But I actually found every photo somewhere on the internet eventually to help verify the names that I did find. And now I do have them written on a piece of paper. I just don't have it in here. And I can't even work on those panels because I got too many other quilts to do. But I'm going to actually use that on the back of the quilt somewhere. And maybe I will just quilt it in. Just go ahead and just top stitch a square onto the quilt somewhere. I normally put my labels on afterwards, but maybe I might do something different and put the label on these quilts in the backing first and just make an approximate completion date so that it can all be on the back with who's all in the quilt, in the panel. But it was a lot of research, a lot of help from people. There are some sleuths that love history, and they were finding stuff left and right. I was like, oh my God, how you find that? I've been looking for a long time. So I had a lot of help. So the good thing is I got extra squares. Should have at least 2. I got 3. I know I have one extra block I don't need, and I decided not to sew it because I do have some A blocks and some B blocks, and they're the same block. It's just how the Crown Royal is turned for seam purposes. So I did not want to make it in case I was short one, because I don't know how I got an extra bag cut. So whatever I'm short, it'll be the right way when I go to piece it, if I have to piece it later. It could just be an extra. So now we cut all of this. It's a long chain. Seems like more than 50, but that's what it is. I gotta find the thread here where my thread broke and snip that. I don't like long strings in my quilt, my finished project. All right, get these done. One of my first quilts was a block of the month from Joann's. It helped me learn as cutting all those little pieces. I didn't have the cutting skills yet. So yep, I have some of those. I think I finally got rid of those things. I had, or if I have, there must be downstairs somewhere. But I had a lot of Joann's block of the months. I would buy them when they went on clearance just to have blocks. And then it was like, when you're buying stuff when it's in, and then when you go buy some, look at it 20 years later and you realize I don't want to sew them. They kind of look like calico print. So if I do find them or come across them again, they will most definitely be bundled up to be gotten rid of. I'm not gonna do that. Um, I just don't like calico looking prints. All right, not anymore. Now that I don't have to deal with them. I didn't like them when I had to. All right, so we'll just do some of these so I can get started here with sewing some of these pieces. As I'm pressing, I'm trying to press away from the Crown Royal fabric since it's thicker. Just to make life a little easier for me. Just try to do a few of these. Patricia Priest saying, howdy, everyone. Chocolate says, anyone going to Branson? Sorry, kind of late with the question. Leetta Bryant's here saying, hi, TNT Quilters, working on another leftover quilt. Diane saying good night. Barbara Jean says, does anyone live near Branson or Prairie Home, Missouri? Not I. Judy, did you cut the bags apart first? Yes, ma'am. You got to get the fabric flat, otherwise you're going to be cutting through the back and you might want to use the back for another part. So I did cut the bags apart first. And roughly how many blocks will you need? I got 28 from my corner bar in orange and green. I'm thinking I need more to make a decent size quilt. It just depends on what size the bags are. If you're going to do a block that's upright, you could also just make it the focal center point in a quilt block. You don't have to use the fabrics elsewhere. So it just depends. 28 block quilt, if you're just cutting out the crown part, is a great quilt too. I think this one costs, let's see, let me count. 85 blocks for this particular setting. And like I said, my blocks are small and the blocks are the prints are the focal. So that's what I'm doing. But there are so many different patterns. I just Googled Crown Royal quilts. My friend did the one that I was going to do with the friendship stars. So she took that one and did that one last year. So I decided to go ahead and do this one. My dad was from Prairie Homes. The way he says, dang, I forgot it's March. So basketball is on now. Was going to watch Jeopardy, but nope. Well, Barbara saying that she'll take something. I don't know I don't even know if I've given them away or not already. So that's the thing. And I'm not going through my basement storage. I'm trying to clean up the upper storage. So it'll be a long time before I go down there. Around to it says Creative Commons license in your description. Did you check out link? Could you explain for Tech Challenge viewers? I don't know what she's saying. Creative Commons license in your description. I don't know what link she's talking about. So email me and then I'll try to see what you're talking about. Exactly which link you're talking about. Good night, Sue. And we've got like another 55 minutes. So We're on here for 2 hours on Saturday live sewing chat. I do also a Wednesday live where I just do a chat, and it's for 1 hour, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, just for those that don't know. Good night, June. A lot of people going to bed. Stephanie Wormsley says working on African Queen, so that's pretty cool. Rhonda Barlow saying hey T and everyone. Hey Rhonda. Met Rhonda at QuiltCon, so I got to meet her for the first time, so that was fun. Michelle saying they're saying good night to people. And Chocolate Treats also leaving you guys as well. So good night. All right, so I got quite a few of these done while I was doing that. So we're just gonna sew what I got done and work on the others later, right? So we'll start. Take this one off because it needs to be pressed yet. And line up these seam allowances that are now going the opposite direction. Yes, they should be. Just want to get some of this sewn. Some sewn is better than none sewn, right? But I feel like we'll get these 25 blocks done unless you all start sending a lot of chats. Oh, she's staying. Okay, I thought she was leaving. So she was talking about to other people. Okay. I have turned into such a night owl that I do know that I have people where it's now 10 o'clock for them. But even when I worked, I never went to bed at 10. I always went like 10:30 or later because I would always watch the news. So normally at 10:30, I started prepping for bed, like getting my bath or shower or whatever. So I hardly ever went to bed before 11 for sure. I'm just one of those people that have always um like certain things were on television, like I always had to watch the nightly news, especially when I was working, so I can know what I was going to wear the next day based on weather and stuff like that. Living in the Midwest, you never know. And there were some days where I had like a questionable car when I was much younger, and I didn't know if my car was going to start on time or not. I'd have to go out and make sure my car is going to start, because if not, then I had to catch the bus, and then I had to have on a different set of clothes if I was going to be on the bus, and it was like it was a mess. I was a student in school, and it's like I was trying to pay for my education, and so I was trying not to have a lot of debt from going to college, and so I couldn't get a car right then because I was paying for my education. So it was like, you can only do so much at a time. But I always was at work, no matter how I had to get there. And Picola says, Picola Chase saying, I am a night owl. Yes. And so that's kind of what I do now is like, now today I got up early, had appointments with my daughter. We went places and had some fun. We went to the mall and stuff, had lunch, and then I had to go to the who goes to the post office, and I'm in line, and I had kept changing my jacket. I got pockets on my pants. I had uh, um a hoodie on, got hot, so I had to take it off. I had stuff in my hoodie at first. And then I changed to a zip up jacket. It wasn't too cold today, but just a little bit breezy at times. So I kept changing jackets and uh where stuff was, and then I get into the post office. I got my keys, I got the phone, and I don't have my wallet. After I had stood in line, okay, I would have one person ahead of me, and I go, "Girl, you don't even have your money." So I had to go back outside and get the wallet and get back in line. So I was not happy about that. I don't know why this piece right here seems bigger than the other piece, but I don't know. I mean, smaller. Like the piece I'm putting on is smaller. Weird. Let me measure this one. Yeah, it's just that one. It was just weird. But anyway, it's sold. I think some of the like I told you, I think I don't have any stabilizer on these bags. So maybe the feed dogs have kind of pushed stuff because I haven't even pressed with the heat and iron to do any stretching. So maybe one of my bags got stretched, one of those cheaper ones. So we just gonna match up the edges and where my seams come together. Am I still sewing here? Yep. I want to make sure I don't run out of thread or something. Since I got this different thread in here, my bobbin light saying it's okay, but you know. And then I got to go fishing to find what I did with the rest of the thread because I bought it just to do piecing. Maybe I took it to the back where my brother machine is because I did say I wanted to try it on different machines. So maybe that's what I did with it. Took it to the back. All right, I haven't read any comments. Chocolate Tree saying I will go to Branson if lucky to Kentucky. These will be huge for me. The road to California was super wonderful show, but that was a few years ago. Yep. Anyone going to the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival in Orleans, Kansas in June? I think I might go to see the show and maybe my sister can come over and visit with me. I have been thinking about it. I've been wanting to go to one of those, but I haven't like actually put it on my to-do list for this year. We'll see. That's one that if I go, I would like to stay overnight somewhere. Um Living in San Antonio is a lot like that, T. That's Barbara. MT says hi. Hello. Welcome to the channel. Good night, Tiffany. Remo's also a night owl. You'll find it when you're not looking for it. Yep. And Vivian is also saying good night. Good night, Vivian. All right. I still got pieces. Oh my goodness. Oh, these already been sewn. Okay. I was like, where did that come from that I gotta, I don't know why I have some cut off already, but that's okay. That's a step done. I don't remember doing it. I'm on for 2 hours on Saturdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, doing a sew and chat. And then I'm on Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time with just a live chat, 1 hour. And I'm trying to get 25 of my Crown Royal blocks done before the time's up. I'm more than halfway there. So we should be making it pretty easy, hopefully. So all I got to sew is one more on the other side. I have to sew a rectangle piece. This is what I have. I got to sew this on both sides of my centerpiece, and we'll be done. And I have quite a few of them already started, so and then the last part will be pressing, which I haven't even pressed the other blocks I made. Okay. I think I made 30 blocks last time I was on, and those blocks are still waiting to be pressed, but at least they're not in pieces. I'm one of those people, I like piece reduction. Long as I don't have a lot of pieces, I feel a whole lot better about a project. So I like piece reduction. And for some reason, I have been hot ever since I woke up. I don't know what's up with that. And I've been just drinking water and it's not helping. So, hey, Ray, how are you? Did you get an email from Steph? Make sure you respond to that. I don't know if you had. Last time I checked with her, you hadn't. All right, let's cut some of this off because it's starting to push back. Maybe that's why I cut some of the other ones, right? One. Rose says, T, do you work on the quilt every day or only on Saturday? On my sewing projects, I tend to only work on the sewing. When I'm doing the Saturday chats, I just tend to work on one project for the chat so that I am not worried about or thinking about what I got to sew when I come on here. Other days that I sew, I'm sewing on other stuff. Or if I'm sewing on a part that I just want to get done, and I might do some of that to get to the next step. So when I come back, I have the next step. But since this is basically just the blocks at this point, I've been just working on the Crown Royal blocks. I think this is about the third or fourth time that I've worked on these blocks here, maybe fourth. And the next step would be just sewing these together into rows. Okay. Okay, Ray, I see your response. So, yeah, it just depends on the project and if I got a plan where I need to get it done or just wanting to get it done. This Crown Royal quilt has no priority. I have a lot of priority quilts that I'm working on, and I can't share them on the channel because some of my local people, they watch the channel, and so I'm in doing different things with them. So, and also I have scrap quilting club projects that I'm not sharing on the channel as well. I'll just show them in a show and tell, because then what would be the point in being in the scrap quilting club if I'm sharing it here? So there are various things that I am doing, and so when I do come in here to sew, I may not, depending on what I got to get done, I won't sew on a Saturday sew and chat project because you've already seen that. Other times I might come in here and sew a step of something that I got to get done because I don't have a choice, but I won't tell you what it is. Like, you might see me making half square triangles, and then I just don't tell you what I'm going to do with them. You'll just see half square triangles being sewed. But yeah, the Saturday sew projects, I try to show you the whole project at some point so you see the whole project being done. So yeah. A lot of explaining for a simple question. It just depends. But I do work on other stuff outside of here. So I'm trying to get all of these pressed so I don't have to come back to this step again. Because now all I got to do is just run these through on the other side. Pressing can wait till the end. I'll use a heated iron for the last press. So, and we're getting close. We only got 2 more up here before I need to start doing the other side. But so when I come back next Saturday, I will most definitely be sewing these into rows. And I'll have to press because I have no other step I can do after this. All right, just turn this stack around and we need to start sewing these. Okay. Okay. And then I better be trying to find my pattern so I know how many rows I'm supposed to make on this too, because I can't remember. That's been so long ago. And now for people that haven't seen it, I got my little short piece. I got 3 rows already sewn together. So I did it in the first or second video just so I could show people that didn't want to come back and watch the rest of the sewing with me, because basically this is just a sewing chat. It's not like doing a pattern or anything like that, but I did show it all when I first did it, told whatever it was that I cut, and that was a long time ago. All right, let me take this off just to make sure I don't have to get the ones that need to be sewn on the other side, starting with this one. Yep. The news is saying that So Hope reopened today, so that's good. Thank you, Betsy. I hope they made some changes to that facilities, the parking lot, all that area. I have not been over in that area to look personally, but if that parking lot flooded like that, they need to redo that. Something is wrong. All right, we're on the home stretch, guys. It definitely will not take 30 minutes to sew the other side of these blocks. I only got 25, so that's cool. So goal accomplished for today. Caught up on my boho heart and optional blocks and the MMQ 2023 Vikings sew along. That's Remo. So she's been getting busy. I gotta add some stuff to my calendar. I keep forgetting. I've been on looked up and scheduled some other stuff. And I might have some other stuff scheduled. Who knows? I look at my calendar a week ahead of time. That's about all I can do to know what's coming up. And then I plan accordingly. If I got a lecture or something, then I start working on what quilts I'm taking and things like that. So I've been trying not to schedule too many lectures, just trying to help out the closest quilt guilds to me, because I don't really, right now, I'm not feeling the packing up 6 containers of quilts. It's a lot of work. And so I've been telling them, if you just let me just do a trunk show of my current quilts, that's what I'll do. And so they've been agreeing. So I'm like, okay, that works for me. So I don't have to look for anything in particular for a subject. Normally I do subject area lectures like sampler quilts or scrap quilts or string and crumb quilts, um, things that disappear quilts, embroidery machine, no, embroidery into how to bring embroidery into your quilting. That type of lecture is always a subject area. And yeah, I don't feel like pulling quilts. It's a lot of work. And then getting them up my basement steps. It's like, no. So I just tend to take whatever I've recently did working on, and I got my last completed quilts are already in bags that are easy for me to just pull out instead of storage containers. I found out the storage containers was more wear and tear on my body than just using bags. So I switched to using bags temporarily. I was having some back pain and stuff. So well, if you don't have anything to sew, you can do a dance lesson. Go away, Jason. You're not gonna do it. Are you gonna do it? I got to. I still haven't gotten prices, confirmed prices for retreat. I'm still getting prices for 2023, not 2024. And yeah, I don't understand what's going on with that, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see how they could be losing too much money if they off price the food a little bit because they've already gone up everywhere else. But, I'm not the administrator at that facility. Um, Jason says he'll give it a go. Okay, we'll see at retreat, sir. I haven't decided. I need to start looking at music and trying to figure out what dances we're gonna do at retreat. It's like when I decide we're gonna do a dance, I have to go listen to the music because when I'm dancing and I'm learning a dance or when I'm dancing a dance, I'm not really like listening to the actual words. I listen to the beat and then I don't really listen to what they say. So I have to make sure that the music is clean or not saying something totally inappropriate. It's so hard to find music nowadays that it doesn't have something in it. So I have to go listen to music, like really listen to the music and not dance, just sit there and listen to the music. All right, we got 3 more of these to go. Lucky us. And we had enough pieces cut, so I did count correctly. So that was good because I didn't want to cut any extra pieces. And 4 more. And 3 more. The Cindy Laufer exercise videos back in the day. And then as soon as you got down to 1, she say 4 more, 3 more, and then she say, now give me 8. And then she'll add on to the number. It's like, no, you said we only had 3 more. Uh-uh. All right. Sewing the last one. It's about let him get his hip fixed first. Ain't that something? All right, Jason. Oh, that is funny. And Kevin talking about if Jason gonna dance, Joe Cormel better be there with her video. She gonna be dancing herself. Dwayne says there is a group of mid-school teachers, 5 I think, who set up after-school craft club and are teaching kids how to sew. That's nice. I have a single Quantum 9960, but I am considering purchasing a straight stitch or another computerized sewing machine. Any advice about models? I do have the Singer 9960, and I had it, I guess, midways through their production. I didn't get it like when it first came out. Um, but mine's on occasion so backwards and all of that kind of stuff. And when you're saying computerized, I'm assuming you're just saying because that machine does have a computer, and most machines nowadays have a computer in them. Most they have some. If you've got any type of light electrical display panel, it's got some computer in it, whether it's machine embroidery or not. So it just depends. But right now, I would not buy any Singer machine that's being produced, because the company that's in control of Singer has not really put any money into it, and they haven't really worked with dealers to get you service. You got to send them into service centers in order to get service on the singers. And I don't like that. I think anytime you have a sewing machine, you should be able to get some local service on your sewing machine. And yeah, I really don't like that. And I don't think that they are made as well as they could be. I think they're putting out subpar product. Now, I say that, and I have at least 5 or 6 singers in my house, so I know what I'm talking about. I have other Singer machines. I got the Singer XL1000. It's a embroidery model that I no longer embroider with because my new Windows programs don't do that. I do have an old laptop that I can use if I'm just desperate and want a machine embroider. I just don't use it as an embroidery machine anymore. I just use it for sewing. And then I also have the CXL, which is a lower model from that. I have the Singer 9960. I have a Singer Heavy Duty. So that's 4. I have a Singer Featherweight. That's 5. I have a Singer Treadle. That's 6. And I got 2 Singer. Sue gonna kill me. She tells me this name of this machine all the time, but because it's out of sight, out of mind, I can't remember. I got 2 other older singers that are metal. So I got 8 Singer sewing machines. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the Singer brand. I just feel like they could do a lot better on the customer service end. I shouldn't have to mail my machine somewhere to get some service on it. And what about regular cleanings? Nobody wants to work on them. So you can't even do that. So I think that's a problem. Here's my block. Just for those that are coming in, it's going to be put on point like that so that the crown royal is upright when I get to the next step. So yeah, that's the problem with Singer. I would almost say buy anything other than Singer at this point. I would say, what kind of features are you looking for? That's what I would sit down and do. What are you looking for in your next machine that you can't do with your current machine? I do like to have more than one sewing machine operational at a time. And the reason for that is because if I'm piecing here, I have this machine set up for piecing. If I'm machine embroidery, I have this machine set up for machine embroidery. If I'm doing free motion quilting, then I have another machine already set up with the free motion quilting. That way I don't have to go and get different feet out to work on this machine if I'm going to embroider. The only time I'm going to be embroidering on the Bernina is if I'm doing a video, or sometimes I embroider in sweatshirt shop mode where I have, say it's a 2-part design, I have part 1 running over here and then I'll pull part 2 in on another machine. So I sometimes do sweatshop stuff, but for the most part, this is set up for piecing. Most part, this is set up for machine embroidery. And now that I have a long arm, I no longer have the machine down here that I used to have at my feet for free motion quilting. If you don't free motion quilt, then maybe set it up with a walking foot, something like that. So that's why I have different machines, and different machines do different things. So I would say, before you even enter a quilt shop or any place to buy a machine, know what features it is that you want from the machine, and don't let them oversell you. That's the main thing. Now, if you are buying an embroidery machine, I do recommend that you at least get a machine that has at least a 6x10 embroidery feel. I think the 4x4 embroidery feel being your max, it's going to be very limiting. You're going to outgrow it almost as soon as you purchase it. And it's a lot of in the hoop designs that are going to be bigger than 4x4. I would say 8x8 at this point would be the smallest that I would really buy on my own. If I was buying a new one, 8x8 would be my smallest large sizes that I could do embroidery on, because they only getting bigger and bigger as time go on. And everybody, all things made in the hoop cannot be made in a 4x4 frame in embroidery field. Thanks, Larissa, saying she likes the block. I don't know if I missed some stuff. Let me go back. um, Dancing is one of the best therapies. Yes, you know, people. The thing about dancing is that even if you're not on beat, that's not the point. And that's what's really great about line dancing, because you're not gonna mess somebody else up because you're not dancing with a partner. And it's just about just moving, getting some exercise in. So that's the thing I like about line dancing. I really want a different brand, but better than Singer, right? So I have all kinds of brands. I can have all kinds of different machines. I've been buying different brands just because I've been wanting to experiment with different brands. And my most recent purchase has been a FOF, but I actually went to the Facebook Marketplace and bought a FOF machine. No, I didn't. I bought a different machine off Facebook Marketplace. That was a different Bernina. I bought the FOF. I did the FOF in exchange for quilt work. But older FOF sewing machines are really good if you're not looking for an embroidery machine. If you're just looking for a second sewing machine, I would suggest looking at the Facebook Marketplace and just putting in, instead of looking at ones where they ship to you, just put in that you only want to do local. I have mine set up for just 25 miles. It does give me stuff that's like up to 50 miles away, even though I have it set up for 25. And I like that because it also includes the Illinois side of the river for me. So when I'm looking for a machine and I want an older model, some of the older model machines are really good. And then I just take some fabric when I go to get it. And then I just tell some family member where I'm going. And then I do make sure that that machine is working before I pay my money for it. But you can get some good value machines that way. Um, which machines have I gotten off the marketplace? My Rocketeers. That's what the Singers are, the Sue Singer Rocketeers. And then I got, and I only have two of them because I wanted one. And the first one that I bought, um, it was a low price, but she didn't have any of the feet attached. So then when I went to go buy all the different feet, I was going to spend more money trying to get the feet than if I had just bought this other lady's machine, because I went and priced all the feet and I go, I'm not paying all that money. And they have like drop-in cams. That's what I really wanted, was the drop-in cams, because that's what makes the machine what it is. And she only gave me one or two of those. So I wanted the cam. So I ended up buying a second machine just so that I could get the cams. So that's why I have two of those. But I like to look on Facebook Marketplace and see if I can get a deal there first before I go into a quilt shop, especially if you don't necessarily have to have a new machine. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Everything I bought off the marketplace has worked. Now, I bought a new machine recently, the Brother, I don't know what it is, 1500 PQSL, something like that. I don't know. Because I haven't sewed on it in a minute. I use it to make my bags. I do very thick sewing on that. Stuff that I don't want to put under my Bernina. So that's what I have set up in the back on my dining table. That's what I mean by when I say the back. On my dining room table. And that's what I got to clean up. All the stuff I have back there that I've been sewing. So when the girls come, they have a place to sit. But there isn't one particular, to me, brand of machine that's overall better than the others. I personally don't like Vikings because I don't like their startup and their noise when it first starts to sew every time. That's a personal preference. it's just something that I didn't want to hear every time I was sewing. And so every time I cut a thread, it would make that noise, or every time I started sewing, it would make a noise. And I'm like, I can't do this. The machines are perfectly good machines. I just didn't like the noise. So it's a personal preference. If you're going to buy something new, I just recommend going in and sewing on it. And when you go in, don't let them sell you a machine. Don't buy a machine that day. Go back on another day and buy it, because they're going to be trying to upsell you. You're going to be more pressure into trying to buy something. So I never buy the machine the first time I go in to buy a new machine. I do love my baby lock machines. I've had baby locks for years. I haven't had any major issues. I haven't even taken them in for service now in a few years, which I should have. But baby locks, if you're getting baby lock anything with, especially with machine embroidery, they're the easiest machines to get going on as far as machine embroidery. I do have, how many baby locks have I had? I got 2 baby locks now. I got the Elagio, which is an older model. It still embroiders. It has a 3.5-inch floppy disk that it runs on, and it still embroiders. And I do have like an external disk drive that I can use to get machine embroidery to it if I want to. And then I have the Baby Lock Elissimo, which is now a pretty old machine. They've come out with so many new models, but when they first came out with the Elissimo, they were bragging about this was going to be the last machine you ever have to buy, because they could just do updates. Well, they can't make money doing that, they realized, and so they told a big lie, and they've since been putting out more baby locks. But all my baby lock machines, they haven't been in the shop now in probably 4 or 5 years, and they're running fine with just basic cleanings, and they're very simple to get started on anything. So I do love the baby lock lines. People don't talk about them a lot, but I haven't had any problems with my baby locks ever. I've never had stitch issues, any of that. I've had more stitch issues with the Bernina, having to get it adjusted, or when I take it into service and I get it back and I don't like the way they adjusted it. I have more issues with the Bernina on that. So yeah, it just depends on what you want. I would say get a company that service your machines locally. And if possible, find a place that does in-house servicing, because you do need to take your machines in and get a professional cleaning. So, but I wouldn't tell you any particular brand to go to. Um, uh, I thought I was the only one who had a lot of sewing machines. I have 6 and 2 sergers. I do have 2 sergers. I recently broke my favorites. When I didn't break it. When I pulled it out, it sewed for a minute, and then when I went to put my fabric under there, it did not sew. And so I had to pull out the second machine that I had gotten from my sister when she passed. So I do have 2 sergers. I've been thinking about whether I should go get those sergers serviced, or if I should just buy me a new serger, because now they're like jet air sewing. I know I've never had an issue with threading a serger. I just can't right now justify spending, say, almost $2,000 on these new sergers nowadays when I don't use it every day. It's like one of those random things that I use it, so I can't. I don't know. So I'm in a I'm in a thought process of what I'm gonna do with my sergers. So maybe the first step should be I should go put these sergers into the shop and see what's wrong with them. I think one just needs a belt. My I have a Burnett 234 that I had, I don't know, maybe I started sewing in 1986. So I'm going to just guess and say maybe 1990-ish or so I bought it. I know I had it early in my sewing career when I was just sewing and no quilting. So that serger is old. However, if nothing's wrong with it and I know how to thread it, and threading doesn't bother me, I just don't see a reason for getting rid of it and spending more money, especially when I'm not using it every day. I'm not making clothing or doing techniques where I need to have a seam serged all the time. And what I was serging was just covers for my big board. I have my big board covered, but when I'm doing a lot of starching, I just want cover that I can lay on top of the big board that I'm using as my new ironing surface that I can take off and wash, because when you put your regular cover on your big board, you're stapling it on there. So I don't want to have a bad looking big board. So that's all I was doing. It wasn't anything that had to be perfectly done. So it would be stuff like that, along with if I'm making a jacket, a quilted jacket or something, I might want to serge those seams. So yeah, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money for just that. And she's asking, is anyone has a review of the baby lock chorus? I haven't bought a new baby lock, but I just think that anything baby lock is going to be good. They pride themselves on putting out a good product, and ironically, they are local. Their branch, their headquarters is here in St. Louis, and they've got Jackman's as um one of their main sellers of baby lock. So Jackman Fabrics. People always ask me, why do I continue to buy sewing machines? I don't have I don't have enough. Don't I have enough? Right. It's not about that. And then, I use different machines, and then also I'm doing retreats, so then I can also take them and use them at retreats and stuff. I go to quilt retreats myself, and I took this Bernina about 3 times on quilt retreats, and I decided the last time I did that I wasn't moving this machine anymore. It's over 40 pounds. It's heavy. This machine is over 40 pounds. It's heavy. I have bags that I got for them. Very nice bags. They roll very well, but it's like I got to lift that bag, and I don't want to do it. As the older I get, the less weight I want to lift. So that's when I got the FOF. I was looking online for one, and then when my quilting friend said that she wanted some quilts made, if I would make the quilts, we can just do an exchange. And that's what I did. I made a couple of baby quilts, very simple ones. They weren't a lot. She had just serviced the machine, so she had put in a couple $100, and she was just trying to get some of her money back. She wasn't even trying to get money for the machine. So that's what I did. um it just depends. All blocks are done. These blocks have been pressed, and the other blocks have not. Isn't that terrible? um I'm gonna just stick this pin in here so that they all stay together, and I may as well keep pressing since I'm just sitting here talking. We've got a few more minutes here, and press the blocks that I haven't done yet. I purchased a singer a few years ago. It was the worst thing I ever purchased. You cannot use the thread cutter. If you use it in your machine, it's out of commission. Oh my gosh. See, they just don't care. They just don't care. How often should a machine be cleaned? If you're using a machine on a daily basis, some people will say 6 months, but I say the maximum you should go with having a machine professionally cleaned, in my opinion, is a year. Now, if you're doing that, you must also be one of those people that are making sure that you're cleaning out underneath your bobbin and stuff like that. Some people don't know that you're supposed to go down in here and clean those areas out. And if you're not going to do that, then you need to take your machine in every 6 months, because it's going to be a big buildup underneath. And sometimes you'll start making adjustments to your machine, and really the adjustments you made weren't needed because it was dirty down there. So you'll start changing your tension settings and things like that. And really what the problem is there was some lint somewhere. So they take the whole entire cover off this machine, they have the bottom open, and then they get in there and they blow all of that stuff out so it's not going to get caught in the corner somewhere. And then they oil things. They say in your book that you don't have to oil these machines, but every time I've seen a repair shop open these machines up, they're putting grease in here. So it does need some stuff. So if your machine's loud and things like that, you might want to take it in and see about getting some work done on it. So I'd say the maximum usually should be a year, especially if you're a person that don't clean it. Now I have to admit that I've seen my guy take covers off sewing machines, and I have taken covers off my machine and cleaned them myself. Okay. So I'm not scared to take stuff apart. Matter of fact, I'm so bad that when I take it apart, if I have an issue, like one time I had thread stuck in here, it had got caught, and thread was stuck because I had this thread spool sitting right here and it just caught thread. That's why I moved the thread spool. And yeah, I've learned how to take stuff apart and get stuff out, especially when you don't want to keep paying people to work on your machine. So it just depends. Joe Cormel made it home. That's awesome. That was a long ride, girl. Margaret Hassler is here, says, does anyone know about the Juki 2010Q? Any of your Jukis are going to be good machines. I feel they're all good. I bought the brother equivalent of the Juki, and Kevin bought the Juki, and Joe Carmel just bought a Juki. So yeah, I think you'll be good with that. Angela says machines are like shoes, but buy as you go. Ray says good night, everyone. Stay safe still. He's getting his goodbye in. We've got like 3 more minutes. I'm trying to press some of these blocks. Some is better than none, right? Yeah, so I'm just pressing. I have to put this back up here after this one. Get some more heat. I just love vintage sewing machines, especially the very rare ones, and that's my answer to why I have so many and still continue to when I come across one that is a must. Yes. And the older machines, they're easier to repair. They're very standard parts. They don't have all the new stuff, so you know your parts are still readily available. The shops know where to get the parts from. You can even buy the parts yourself if you want to fix it yourself. There's even videos on how to do just about everything to just about every old machine out there. It's just a matter, do you want to take your machine down to just pieces? And I don't. I would love to have my featherweight painted, but I don't want to take all those parts off myself. And if I pay somebody to do it, then it's like, you know, $3,000. It's like, that's a lot of money. So I still got this whole stack that needs to be pressed, guys. My mom turned 80 back in December. And she's left him all of his machines in her will for she has some for 1940s and 1950s, and that's awesome. Sue Allen says, hi T, just got home. I agree, T. Have mine serviced every year. Yes. Especially your updated machines, you'd most definitely want to get them in. I try to make sure I get the Bernina in every year for sure. And then if you got a new machine and it's under warranty and you don't get it serviced, then they might try to not follow your warranty if they're recommending that you get that machine serviced every year and you don't, and something goes wrong, say your motor has a 20-year warranty or whatever that is, I'm just throwing out numbers here, and you don't get your machine serviced, they may not warranty if your motor go out. So get your machine serviced, they may not warranty your motor going out. So yeah, you always, got to be careful with stuff like that. This machine, there's nothing wrong with this machine. I've had it a long time. I only do quilt labels on it right now, so I've just kind of been ignoring it because it hasn't done a whole lot of recent sewing. But I will eventually get that one in and get it serviced. I finally think I may have. I was trying to find somebody different to take that one to, because it is full computerization embroidery machine. So I think I've got that figured out now. My mechanical machines, I have a guy that can do those pretty easily. The Bernina guy only does Bernina machines, so I can't take other machines to him. And the problem now is going to be that you're going to have to take your machines to your dealers to get them serviced, because the dealers are only training people if you are affiliated with a dealership. So it used to be that anybody could go get trained in doing sewing machine repair. And so with them changing all the stuff of how machines are being made and the new parts that are in, if I take this machine to somebody that was trained 20 years ago and haven't had any updated training in the Bernina stuff, they could mess this machine up, and then I'm in trouble, because then I got to take it back to the dealership and they may or may not want to work on it. Any Bernina dealership, I didn't have to buy my machine from there, but that's where your certified dealers are. And that's the problem with repair now, is that they're not just training anybody, they're only training people. You have to be affiliated with a dealership. So that's a problem, because now you've got to pay whatever price the dealers want, instead of going to just somebody that just service machines. You're going to somebody that sells machines and service machines. And yeah, on some instances, if they're telling you that your machine's shot and that you might need to get a new one, you're sitting in a place where you can get a new one, you might have to go to another place just to get a second opinion. Because I've had friends that have been told their machines are dead, and then another place fixes their machines. Okay, I'm just saying. Just telling you how it is. So, but it's 10:02, guys. Should I stay on here and finish pressing and be done? I think so. I am hungry. I've only had lunch today with my daughter, but I am hungry. But if I'm here pressing, I think I should continue to press, right? Get it all done. And so when I come back next time, I can start. I need to count and see how many setting triangles have I cut. I haven't cut them all, so I need to do that. I won't be on here too much longer, maybe 15 minutes max, right? We'll see. All right, put these into the stack right side up. The PL, Angela's asking, what is the brother equivalent of a Juki? I got the brother PL 1500 SQ or something. It's something like that. It's got 1500 in it. I do know that. It's in the back. And I think the book and everything is back there. Hold on. Yeah, this is my Bernina book. I don't have the book up here. I service every machine I have. I had a friend that taught me how to fix the timing and on them as well, and other things on the machine. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like on your, especially if you're getting older machines, it's best that you learn how to do some of that yourself. Now, sometimes like when I do retreats, I just take the machines in and get them serviced before people come for a retreat, because I don't want to have a machine that's malfunctioning at retreat if people are using my sewing machine. So I take them in then. I take in whichever machines have, well, I think I took them in ahead of time, and then I put them on a list of this is what I had serviced, instead of just having people say, can I use this machine? I just made a list of what had been serviced. So, but you know, the mechanical machines are basically just oiling and greasing, because that's how they were made. There is no computerization in them, so it's not a whole lot you have to do. I've run out of heat. Just don't hold heat very long. So I have to put it back on there. How many more? 6 more it look like, and then we'll be done with pressing, and then I just need to cut me some setting triangles. And we'll be on our way to getting this quilt sewn together. Becky saying, I need the name of your mechanical machine guy, please. I'll talk with you, Becky. Joy Creations is saying good night. Good night. Thank you. And Joe Carmel says, love her Juki, but was thinking about that Cave Bernina too. Yeah, that Cave Bernina is kind of pretty. And they make the 770 in the Cave, so it would be the same machine that I got. So I'm not, and you can get smaller models too, where they have less space in here. And I could technically have gotten a Bernina with less space here, except for when I'm machine embroidery, because I'll never use this for quilting. Not that much space. I quilt like placemats on here. I don't quilt, or like when I'm doing tote bags, I might quilt a tote bag section, but I don't quilt like large quilts on here. So I don't need all of that space. This is upside down. Nicole says, I take my Bernina to Top Stitch. A Mennonite owns it. So I don't know where that is. Ouch. I'm not looking. Put the iron on my finger. Carissa Renninger is here saying, hello, everyone. We're almost done, guys. 2 more to go, and we'll be out of here. Rosalind H saying, hello, TN, everyone. Thank you, Carissa. It's the PQSL 1500, I think. And I think it's the PQ 1500 SL, because I think the letters are separated, and that's why I couldn't remember what it was. Thank you. You're closer than I am. Andrew says, I have it great. My mom was a Juki junkie. Yeah. So that's why when Kevin ordered one, I ordered the other one, so that we could both see what the differences was, or if there was any difference. And I think we're both happy with them. I could have got a Juki, but I got the brother instead. A lot of the Teaquilters had told me that model was very similar to the Juki, and I haven't had issues with it. The issues I've had have been my issues. I keep, it's a different type of machine, and I was having issues with when I wound a bobbin. I'm not one of those people that are heavy-handed with my bobbin winder, and apparently because it's more on the mechanical side, it does have some computerization to it, but it's more mechanical. I needed to push that lever all the way back, so the issues I was having was because I had not pushed that lever all the way back. I think what I got to do, I had some more of these blocks, and I don't know where they are. I'll find that later. Put those into the stack. This in this bag. I got extra pieces. We're just putting up pieces now. I dropped it. It was on top of the bag. I had an extra block here. Don't want to pitch that. And so now my next step is I got my corners and I got some triangle units. I don't know if I have enough, so I need to count that stuff. I guess I can put the corners back in. We know I have enough corners. And I just need to check and see when I find the pattern, how many of those. These are just my extra pieces here. So that's where we are. And we're ready for the next step on this, putting this together. I did say I was going to show the part that I already have sewn. So let me do that. I just got to take it off of this little, well, I could have left it on here, huh? I got these Storm at Sea blocks underneath. And I just put this up here. But this is what I have sewn, just 3 rows that I showed when I first started, just so people could see how it was going to look. The fan's blowing it now, guys. Put this pin back. But yeah, so they'll be setting up on point like that. All right. So that's our next task. We'll be starting with row number 4. I can't remember how many I have. I do know that I need 85 blocks. That's all I know. Okay. I'm trying to get my mom's best friend to sell me her featherweight. She has 3, no children or relatives. Yeah. And it's going to end up, you might end up with somebody doing it in the state where they'll know the value. But then most people will be just selling it for $50, and then you may not be in the right spot to get it, you know. So it is nice to try to get them when you know somebody has it. Kevin loves his Juki. I buy sewing machines to make clothes and coats. I think that's what Rose is trying to say. Carissa says she loves hers too. I use all machines to make clothing. Next project is quilted coat and a trench coat. Girl, you something else. A trench coat. People are saying that's beautiful. Well, thank you. I don't know, is Rose trying to tell me to make a pillow or to make pillows? Okay, so she was saying to make pillows, not a coat. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and end here, guys. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with if we still got enough cut. If I don't get more cut, we definitely got enough cut that we can do a few rows. So we'll definitely be putting some rows together. And our Crown Royal quilt is starting to be on the ending side, not on the front half. We're on the back half now. So we got all the blocks done. I don't need any sashing or anything like that. And then I'll have to figure out once it's done if I want to do a border or not. I haven't decided that. I won't have any of the Crown Royal bags on the outside, so I don't have to worry about stabilizing anything, because I told you all this fabric is starting to fray as it's sitting here. So I do want to get it all sewed in and perhaps get it quilted as soon as I can. But yeah, so I'll see you all next Saturday night at 8 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time for live sewing chat. That's 2 hours. But I also come on Wednesdays, and I have a 1 hour live chat. Necessarily may not be sewing, but if I'm behind on a project, sometimes I'll sew, but I'm mostly just doing some other stuff. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Eric Oda isn't in here, and there may be a live chat tomorrow. I need to check with him, but he's in tax season, so we may not be having that tomorrow. But I'll check with Eric and make sure. We normally do a Zoom meeting on the first Sunday of the month, and it's at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Is it? Yeah, I think it's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time that we do that as well. So we're going to go ahead and end here, guys. If you all got any questions, join me over on the Facebook group, Teaquilts LLC. I'm over there. I'm also on Instagram at Teaquilts. And you can also leave a comment inside of any of my YouTube videos. So that's it for now, you guys. You all stay blessed, be safe, and quilt out. Bye.